like sometimes I have to do multiple times because of things I don't, do. But I don't mind repeating things over and over and over and over and over, because I know there'll be a time where I'll never speak again. So this is what I want to say before I can't speak anymore. You see these people. These people are supposed to make you subscribe to things that just obviously, just not even logical, but obviously manipulative, and want you to accept this false persona. They force you to experience disturbing thoughts about children in these disgusting ways: stimulations, libido manipulation, imaginations, all kind of weird ways of looking at kids and being stimulated by this via this technology that can stimulate your sexual arousal, can arouse you via this technology. And so they have these tactics where that is very systematic. One of the tactics is called the peripheral type of torture. It's the when they implant child porn in people's brain. As I'm saying that, they try to do something, and it's a tactic to break somebody down, right? It's something they've done systematically, and what you're going to listen is like a survey that was surveyed 1,000 people, 1,000 target individual, and out of all of them, they're like, almost all of them experience this peripheral type of torture, where they're forced to experience this child porn implanted in their mind. Now, in my head, what they're doing, the nasty things they're doing, it's so disturbing. They're bringing up, oh my gosh, it's so sad. They're bringing up a moment where I was dating somebody, and they try to make me feel nervous about it. I don't subscribe to what's going on with my reaction. So I don't care when they make me think anxious or not. I just say things and understand that what it is. They make me think of when I was, and I made a few videos already about this, and I'm going continuously until they change to something else. This I used to date this person, and she comes back in the room. She's like yelling, "Oh my gosh! I just called my little sister. She's like 12 years old. I called my little sister doing this thing in the shower." Right? She used the shower, and she kind of tell me describe exactly what her sister did. Right? In the shower, and it was like, "Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Why you tell me that?" And she says what she tells me. I'm processing what she says, making me thinking about what she says. That's how it goes. It's like me telling you, I went to the bathroom, and when I went to the bathroom, there was like the color of my poop was this color and this and that, and you think about it. And they're like, you see, you thought about this. You like poop. You think about poop because I'm telling you about it. So because this moment is like, and now what they try to do, they make me imagine in these vivid ways, right? And every time I speak about this story, they try to use different tonalities. Like, oh my gosh, he's gonna abuse you. He'll abuse you. He'll torture you. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, okay, now that makes sense. Because what they're trying to cover up is they do the child porn thing. They force you to experience child porn in your brain. And so right now they're making me imagine this moment with when my ex-girlfriend, and I'm giving strong quotes behind that, telling me about her sister. And now, because this is a moment when the child is doing something sexual, and that's honest, at the time, that's something that she was doing to herself as a kid. We all been kids. We all had these moments. And so they're trying to make me imagine it in such a vivid way. It's so disgusting. And they're like, okay, you were not aroused, right? And now they're changing that. They're adding arousals because they're like, oh, you were stimulated by it. It's like they're slowly changing to create even more and more. So you were not aroused, but initially it was like, but when you were, when somebody was talking about something in the shower, did you ever thought, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Did you ever thought, oh my gosh, remember when, like, just remembering how my ex-girlfriend at the time called this kid. It's like, I mean, like, this is stupid. It's like somebody who, like, oh, you remember somebody talking about, using the restroom, the color of the poop was this color, and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember when this person told me about this thing. Like, they try to bring things like that. I was like, what? It's like, no, we caught you, you see? What? And obviously, this thing makes no sense, because what they do is force you to experience peripheral thoughts. And this is a moment where a kid is doing something sexual. And so they tried to make me imagine it. And now they try to make me imagine it and then stimulate me. And then give me this very vivid imagination of it. It's disgusting. And that's the things they do. And they try to make you feel uncomfortable. Right now, they make me feel itchy. Try to get me like feel like I'm like, it's so disturbing. Because what they're trying to cover up is this obvious thing they do. Listen to what they do.
In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
So because they do these things, right, where they force people to imagine children in these sexual ways, they're like, okay, this is a moment somebody talked, and it's funny, like this moment, and they try to really make you feel guilty. This is a moment a person told you about what she caught her sister doing, and so you understand what she means, and now they like try to make you imagine. You see, you thought about this. It's like, well, yeah, because she told me about it. And it's like, no, but they try to make me imagine, just randomly, like, imagine it. Like, they come up with the story and then stimulation. Because what they do is what you heard. They force people to experience child porn in their mind. And this moment, when this sister tells me about her little sister, and you, like, process what she's saying, you're like, oh, you see? It's so disgusting. So it's like you imagine, like, you're dating somebody, right? And somebody you date is like, oh, I just caught my little brother doing this. And then you think about, okay, oh, wow, embarrassing. You think about it, and that's that. It's like, oh, but you remember, he thought about what the little brother said when they were telling what they called the little brother doing. And then they try to make you imagine in a very vivid way. You see, that's proof. The child porn thing, you see? That's you. We're now implanting child porn in your mind. You see? And now they're making me imagine this in disturbing in so many ways. Making me very, very vivid imagination of what this kid did. Very. Very. And things I've never thought in these ways, ever. Never. You just know she was in the shower and she used, and that's that. You don't have these detailed imaginations that they force you to have. And now they make me think like this is how I used to imagine things. Because what they do now is do the peripheral type of torture where they force you to experience child porn in your mind. And this is a kid doing something sexual and try to now make me imagine this thing. And this is step one. Now they're like putting sexual arousals by it, because it's one thing to just have the something go in your brain and think. Now they try to make me think like in a sexual matter, but like make me sexually reactive to this. Because they do the peripheral type of torture. And it's humiliating that these people who actually do this peripheral type of torture want you to subscribe. So you see this people in front of me? They're supposed to gaslight me into accepting this, or triple fist them. It's like, you listen, quadruple fist me, cut me in pieces, do all the things. You guys are nasty low life who manipulate my memories to make me have this disturbing imagination in this disgusting ways, then try to arouse me, which is the next step. Then and they use this tonality. Oh my God, you serve fucking low lives. I'm sorry, but when you hear these people be so gimmicky and think the gimmicks are gonna be the things that are gonna make me subscribe, they're gonna frame you. They're gonna make you experience peripheral type of thoughts. They're gonna force you to imagine kids in this disturbing ways. They're gonna manipulate the memories, and they're gonna try to disorient you at the same time. As I was making this video, they'll tell me how they're going to fist me, and you're going to be fired, to disorient you, because how they're trying to make you accept this thing is via these people here you see in front. To try to gaslight you into accepting this peripheral type of torture that's obviously something they do to others, and bring in some random things like, oh, remember when she talked about what she calls her sister, and you're like, okay, you thought about her. I was like, because she told me about it. What do you mean? I processed what she told me. But it's like, okay, but what you saw, you remember what happened to her? So what? Because yes, that's the first time I met her. I remember the sister being cut like that. I was like, damn, it's embarrassing for her, poor girl. So, no, you thought about it in this way. You started thinking, I'm like, ugh. These people are trash and low lives, and they're gonna be gimmicky as a hell to try to get you to accept these things. I rather scream and die than having to live life doing these nasty things to people. I know there'll be a time I won't be able to say that. So I'm saying that 100 times because I know what I'm saying is going to come true. I'm not a genius. Target individuals, I'm not a genius. But it's obvious the things they do is going to come to them. You obviously see how this thing works, trying to change things and force you to have this imagination and create these things. And because the state of my mind right now is so bad. It is so bad right now. My brain is extremely in a state of such a retardation state That this way things have been manipulated yesterday or the day before. And you know what triggered it? Or how they try to create these things? I was on a date with somebody. She randomly started talking about, kids start very young. I was like, okay. She started making me imagine. And I thought, oh, okay, like this, whatever. And I was like, okay, I remember when my ex-girlfriend talked about her sisters. Like, I'm guessing that's like that because she was bringing up something about her sisters, like about herself. It's like, yeah, kids, we start very young or something like that. And I'm like, and it's like, even girls, even younger. I'm like, okay. And then immediately make me think of, oh, I remember when my girlfriend was telling me about her little sister, how she caught her. And see, that's proof. And I started creating these thoughts. I was like, what? And they try to make me imagine, but if somebody brought up the fact that kids at that age start discovering themselves, would you think about your ex-girlfriend talking about her sister? I'm like, what? What is trying to come out? Like, this is so disturbing. Because they do the preferred type of torture and they want you to imagine these things in such a vivid, disturbing ways. And it's like, no, that's proof. Obviously, it's a mixture of agitation. They want you to be agitated and break you down. Because they do the preferred type of torture. It's something they do systematically. However they try to break you down. However they manipulate your memories and how you perceive memories, how you experience memories. Now they're creating new versions. And because they obviously do the preferred type of torture, they want you to subscribe to these things. It's obvious they do the preferred type of torture. But forget about the fact that they not only do the preferred type of torture. Here's reality.
Ghislaine Maxwell trial, but sexual crimes involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is bizarre. It's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
It's funny, while I was listening to that, they were trying to do this back and forth and gaslight me in these tactics. It's something that's that they do, but it's always a way to just kind of disorient me, because the obvious things they do to me is this kind of pedophile type of torture. They force me to experience this child porn type of things in my brain, right? And the reality is, while they are here talking about but that moment, remember she said this, and then try to come up with these versions, and then try to make me imagine this kid in this, and they're having this very vivid imagination of it, because of course that's not how I think about things. I will not think in these details, in this disgusting. She will say something and okay, I know what she means. Now they create those imaginations. Oh my gosh. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And then make me imagine that memory is true. After making me imagine this, it's like, you're sick. These people fill with pedophiles who do the pedophile type of torture and force you to have false memories. Because what's happening today, they force you to have this pedophile type of thoughts. Right? And they use this tonality. gimmicky as it gets. Because you recognize that you're just forcing me to imagine whatever was told to me in this fashion. And it's very detailed. It's like, oh. It's like, I didn't have to imagine. I just, okay, but she was in okay, cut it. Like, that's it. They tried to make me imagine exactly how she was, what was happening. And it's disturbing. It's just, I don't even want to talk about it. But because they have this ability to create this very vivid imagination of things, this is how things goes. And they're like, oh, we got this. And that's part of the gimmicky part. Just like you see these people in front of me. Just like you see, they are supposed to get you to subscribe to this. And they're going to frame me. They're going to do all the foul things that people like them, capable of doing this pedophilia type of torture, would do. People who would force people to have disturbing pedophilia thoughts would do the things they're going to do to me. Because that's what they do. And for them, it's like, you see, this is going to happen to you. Because, yes, you're capable of doing forced pedophilia thoughts in people's brain. And then framing me is nothing. You're trash. Expect trash human beings do trash things. No matter how they present themselves, no matter what they do, no matter how the psyops do not subscribe. Find yourself lucky, because people like that, in every other situation, you will look at them as respectable human beings who have very responsible occupations, who are very logical and rational. But in this moment, because their goal is to break you down and make you accept this false reality, they want you to subscribe to this. So to all my target individuals, stay strong and know that justice will be done for the nasty things